Which, hey, you know what? Honorable mention. Eat a Bag of Dicks.
Yeah, there you go.
Rollins Band, number 29. Rollins Band, The End of Silence, 1992.
92. This is extremely biased and personal for me because, God damn it.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting this fucking guy's name, and I'm going to look it up.
Henry
Rollins. I'm going to do
I
it
think
right now.
his
No, the bass player.
All right.
Because for some reason, and the reason I get confused, which doesn't really matter, but because I always want to call him Walt Weiss, and that was a shortstop for the Oakland A's, and I know it's not him.
Probably not the same dude.
No, it's not the same dude.
All right.
But this was another Andrew Weiss.
Andrew Weiss. All right.
Andrew Weiss. Man, if you're a bass player, and even if you're not a metal bass player, you listen to this fucking album, you listen to Andrew Weiss on this fucking album, it is a fucking roller coaster. And the thing I like about it, because there was a band, was it Brutus, I think? It's a newer band, it's a chick drummer. They're kind of progressive a little bit, but they're kind of converge like.
Sounds like Brutus, maybe. Yeah.
But the thing, because the guitar player for the Rollins Band, the guitar player for Brutus is very similar. He doesn't play like a lot of riffs, and the whole thing was kind of different with Rollins Band. I mean, let alone they got Henry Rollins in the front, right? And they got Sid Cain behind the drums. Phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal. So fucking tasteful with his shit. And when they and it was a lot of weird and strange things because Andrew Weiss pretty much held down the rhythms. It was almost like songwriting was back in the 60s and 70s, or mainly 50s and 60s, because the bass held the rhythm a lot of times. And the guitar player was just kind of doing like kind of little mini leads and licks throughout the thing. It's made for fantastic songwriting. Fucking fantastic. I mean, I really probably should have put this album a lot higher than what it is. But I just felt it was really personal, extremely too biased and personal to put it any higher. But just fucking phenomenal. Like Wait is the album that came after, and I think Wait is a fucking turd compared to this fucking album.
Well, given how like most, like rock or for the purpose of this thing, metal bands are so guitar driven.
Yeah.
What's going on is the guitar. Well, you mentioned Brutus, but you're comparing that to Rollins Band, and with the guitar being more of a secondary, but still not unessential.
Oh, no, not unessential at all.
If you take it away, if you take it away, you would almost assume that it's going to it's going to be negligible. But when you do take it away, it's like, oh my god, where is that fucking fifth dimension
and the
to
guitar
our music?
Work, and the guitar work is phenomenal. The musicians that Henry put together for this was fucking unbelievable. And another thing that was really strange about it was there was a lot of little weird things, like Henry's got a lot of tattoos, right?
Yeah.
But he has that album cover over his entire back.
With that sun thing?
That sun thing covering, that's the tattoo that covers most of his body from this album. And another thing that was kind of strange was they had a guy called Theo Van Rock. I don't know if that's his real name. Probably not. But he is their sound guy. Mm-hmm. And when you looked at the album, their sound guy is listed as part of the band.
Interesting.
He was a member of the band. Like you'd have Sid Cain on drums, the guitar player, Henry Rollins on vocals, and Theo Van Rock sound. the sound, I guess their sound, he was listed as, like, he had his little picture, you know, and, like, you know, Andrew Weiss bass, Sid Cain drums, Theo Van Rock sound. He was listed as one of the members of the band.
Weird.
It is kind of unconventional.
Oh, definitely.
And, man, fucking mega mono album. One of the most, and like I said, it's just more personal to me because of my relationship with my brother and stuff when I was younger and everything. 18, the last song, just like me, just like you. I mean, just like you. That song was very, very, very personal to me, and it was like that song was written from my experience in my childhood with my brother. It's really fucking good.
Wow.
Incredible. Henry, that the absolute pinnacle of Henry Rollins is that album.
So that's got to make it's got to be meaningful for it to make that personal connection.
Yeah. Really, really good.
Fucking right. Number 28, Meshuggah. Destroy, Erase, Improve, 1995.
Meshuggah.
Dude,
Swedish,
I think, yeah.
Swedish Speedballs.
Dude, a lot of people kind of compare them. They kind of call them like the Pantera that should have been. Whatever. I mean, it's.
I could see that with the.
It's that very rhythm driven staccato. Guitar style, but also, dude. 4 words: polyrhythm.
Yeah.
I mean, to listen to. Okay, so if you listen to
worldly and very worldly popular. I mean, and that's the thing about Meshuggah.
Well,
I mean, you can say Pantera, and maybe people around the world might not. Everybody around the world knows who Meshuggah is. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows who Meshuggah is.
Yeah.
You can go to the fucking Arctic. Oh, I heard of Meshuggah.
Yeah, dude. My daughter, who I don't even have a daughter. She knows who Meshuggah is. She knows the fuck she is.
Everybody knows who Meshuggah is.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Anyway, Meshuggah, Destroying Race Improve. This album is, I don't know, man. They had a couple of albums prior to that. They've had a ton of albums after that. This album is, if you want to get into Meshuggah, this is the album that's the most likely to get you into the Meshuggah. It's
95?
95. It's for the most part pretty fast-paced, mid-tempo to high-tempo. All right, so it's got like a nice, medium rhythm to a high-end rhythm to like a nice thrashy kind of feel to it. High energy, extremely high energy, but not too confusing. I will listen to Meshuggah. I will listen to I can't remember the name of the fucking album. This is a great album that's like much slower. Pretty much a very consistent actual tempo from start to finish, and you could make. Basically, you could. A fun game would be to listen to the whole album, start to finish, and just try to keep that steady beat. Okay, and I'm talking like with the polyrhythm, dun 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 dun, and actually make this steady rhythm make sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Destroy, Erase, Improve did that at 180 BPM. To some extent or another. This album is extremely. They took their Metallica influence and they went beyond. They fucking got heavier. They got really sick in what they were trying to do, and they kept that. This is kind of like where they started to go in the direction of polyrhythmia, and where they started to say hey, let's get kind of crazy, Let's take And Justice for All. right? And the kind of crazy stuff that they were doing,
Yeah.
right? And say, what happens if we don't keep that 4/4 timing? What happens if we don't make this just understandable enough? What happens if we take this thickness and extremity and just go absolutely wild? And the thing is about Meshuggah is they didn't remain contained by that. But if I was going to recommend any Meshuggah album, I would say start with this album, Destroy, Erase, Improve, and let that at least kind of brainwash you a little bit, and then move on to other things. And they got slower and they got faster.
Yeah, but
and
y'all know who Meshuggah is.
I hope
You know
so.
who Meshuggah is.
But this album is, this is the one that made the list.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of great albums. To be honest, I listen to other albums more frequently than Destroy, Erase, Improve. But this one kind of makes what they did and sets it in concrete. So there you go. Number 28. Moving on to number 27, Yob Atma 2011.
Go get a yob. So,
Would you please?
Matt Shite.
Yes.
Mike Shite. I don't know. I could almost go ahead and just say yob. Let alone just this album.
Yes.
Because all of them are fantastic. It's a different type of thing. It gets into, now we're into Doom.
Yeah.
Okay, this is fucking Doom.
Yes.
It takes a long time to develop.
Yes.
But if you have the patience and you have a long drive, which I do not,
Right.
typically the intros are about 3 to 4 minutes until they really get into the meat and potatoes of the song. But the way it's done and the guitar tone and the way Mike does his thing is just masterful. Fucking masterful.
Yeah.
I know this type of Yob's type of stuff may not be everybody's bag, but if you're into Doom, then you know this is Yob is where it's at.
Yeah. I think I heard Yob once when I was living up in the Pacific Northwest, but I never really got introduced to it fully.
Yeah,
until
well, they're
you
from there, I believe.
Yeah. They're up in Portland or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
Good
incredible shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
The vocals are just, and it is because he's talked a lot about like when he was younger with like hair bands and stuff like that, like Kiss and shit like that. He was into that shit, but like, man, the patterns that he comes up with, and the way he just bouts out, because he'll do growls and low shit.
Oh, yeah.
For effect and stuff, and like everything, the whole aura about Yob is that it's a spiritual thing. And like what he used to do, like when he used to play Hellfest and stuff, he would do like these mantra things, and he would like for 10 minutes, and he would just sit there and just go, and the whole crowd is ready to go. And he's just, and I've seen interviews where they ask him about that. He's like, I'll get myself in the mode, and I'll, when I'm ready, I'm ready, and when I'm ready to start, I'll know when it is, and then I'll start. And it's just the whole thing about Yob. And man, he's done I think it might be an honorable mention, but I don't remember. But Our Raw Heart is come out 2018. The last thing he did, fucking phenomenal, incredible. It's just the artistry and how good that guy is just crazy. He's just that fucking good.
Yeah.
And everything he does.
Definitely.
But as far as production wise, I really like Atma.
Uh-huh.
I know people are going to be throwing daggers at me as why isn't this one on there? Why isn't that album on there? Well, nah, I don't know. But for some reason, Atma is closer to me. It's a great album.
Let's get along, folks. Let's not argue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 26.
Let's go.
Bruce Dickinson, The Chemical Wedding, 1998.
Chemical Wedding.
Chemical Wedding.
Well, everybody knows Bruce Dickinson.
Yep.
Iron Maiden, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are totally not into the Iron Maiden thing, have no fear. Because, yeah, he does his vocal thing, but the music is nothing like Iron Maiden. And the reason this is on the list, and it's kind of a little high on the list.
Mm-hmm.
What is that, 26?
26, yeah.
Close to halfway. Is because I really love this album. It first kicks off with King and Crimson.
Mm-hmm.
It's a modern metal music with Bruce Dickinson singing, and it's done really well. The whole album is really good. Bruce Dickinson is obviously fucking amazing, but he had Balls to Picasso and some other. This is a solo effort by Bruce, and I have on numerous occasions let people listen to this album, and every single time there's always been somebody where you could see like wheels turning in their head, and they're a little confused at first, and then like, can you get me a copy of that? Like right now? I'm like, yes, I can, because I understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's that good.
Mm-hmm.
This album is that good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a whole feel to it, which is, kind of easy to do when you're just doing offshoot solo projects to make it its own thing. But it really has a good feel from beginning to end. All the songs are really good. And it does something to you. When you hear it, it's that arise, awake, that Bruce Dickinson thing.
Oh,
but
God.
with
Oh,
that
God.
fucking down-tuned metal fucking grit. Unlike Iron Maiden, with that vocals, it's just really fantastic.
Dude, it makes you want to just enter battle.
Yes, absolutely.
What's the battle? Who cares?
Yeah.
Let me just enter it.
Bruce Dickinson, The Chemical Wedding.
Definitely. Number 25, Suffocation, Effigy of the Forgotten, 1991. Dude, I've been a Suffocation fan for a long time. I chose this album. This is their first LP. They've put out, they've been through their ups and downs. They've had different people come in and out. They've had production issues. There's just something classic about what they put forth with this, and basically Suffocation did out of New York. They did this. They did fucking brutal technical death metal. That is it. I mean, it's just straight up fucking in your face. Great vocals, heavy thunderous sound, just blistering thunderous tempos and tempo changes, and you can go ahead and criticize the drummer for not doing a technical blast beat. Guess what? He came back and he technicalized that blast beat. He fucking did it with perfection. It's a brutal fucking death metal album. And it is the definition. This to me is sort of like.
I think if you
what's the
Wikipedia death metal, Suffocation and Cannibal Corpse would be your examples.
It's kind of It's kind of like this is the stone now. Try to copy it.
You're right.
Basically, go forth and experiment and do other things. But I mean, after they're forgotten, goddamn, start to finish, great fucking album. It is just brutal. It is heavy. It is thick, and it will punch you in the dick. Number
I
24.
like my metal to pop on the dick.
Exactly. Conan, Void, 2018.
The Existential Void Guardian.
Yes.
So, like, Conan's been going at it for a little bit. They're from the UK. The interesting thing about Conan is they. I've seen a lot of interviews with Conan because I just love the fuck out of them, and everything they do, like the guitars they use, the strings they use, the tunings they use, the amps they use, the cabinets, the speakers they use, is an attempt to get the deepest, muddiest sound that they can get. And if you want a prime example of that, check out their first EP, Horseback Battlehammer. It is a muddy fuckfest. It's almost like, it's not quite as Earth 2, the ultra low version, but and he's got like a high voice which kind of beautifully contradicts it, and the bass player does the lows, but they're just heavy as fuck. They're heavy and slow, and it's Caveman Battle Doom. You can get a Conan T-shirt that says on the back, Caveman Battle Doom. That's what they are.
And
so when you get into Doom, it's just slow and fucking heavy, and the thing I like about I just fucking love this album is because a lot of the shit was kind of draggy and slow, and his voice was he just kind of did this one high monotone thing and just kind of stayed there.
yeah.
But everything from all the previous albums that you wanted from Conan, they fucking delivered it on this album. Every fucking song, from beginning to end, they even got like this one song with just a bass player. And the guitar player's just kind of feeding back and adding a little shit, and it's a fucking just bass player vocal, bass and drums lead song, and it's fucking great. And they get a lot more melodic, and he's a lot more expressive with his vocals. You take all the other Conan albums offerings, and you're like, God, I wish they did this. I wish they would just do this. They do it all on this album, and it's fucking fantastic. I put the Existential Void Guardian as the number one metal album of 2018.
Wow.
I did. I thought it was the best thing that come out in 2018.
Beautiful.
I really do.
I don't know why I had it written down as just Void. It is obviously Existential Void Guardian, so I apologize for
that. Was probably
error.
me with my shorthand.
It could have been. I don't know why I didn't double check that. But still in all, Existential Void Guardian 2018, number 24, noted. Number 23, Clutch, Elephant Riders, 1998.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Everybody loves that album. If you're a Clutch, Clutch fan,
Christ
which
almighty.
if you listen to heavy music, you're a fucking Clutch fan, okay? Because they're that good. All right, and I know they got a lot of good albums. Fucking Earth Rocker, fucking Psychic Warfare was a good album. Beale Street was great. I like Jam Room. I thought Jam Room was a great album. But
dude, their fucking self-titled album was great. Dude, I mean, even fucking, I still listen to what was that song?
Transcontinental.
Yeah.
Highway,
Something
whatever.
with the samurai.
Yeah.
Yeah, never knew about samurai.
The thing I really like, the drummer is fantastic, and your boy,
Absolutely.
it Mike Fallon?
The vocalist.
Yeah.
Oh god, dude, he's a fucking monster.
He's a monster, dude. And I've seen Clutch live like 4 fucking times.
Right on. Yeah.
And
he's a versatile dude. I mean, he could do all
He's playing
kinds
guitar.
of shit.
He's playing guitar now, pretty
Is
much
he?
full time now. Yeah.
Oh shit! All right.
And I get it. Beale Street is a great album, and all the other ones, Robot Hive, whatever. I really like this album. A lot of people really like this album. I don't know, dude. It has almost a jovial kind of feel to
It
it.
does. It kind of taps into Americana.
I really like it when he sings about food. There. I said it.
Yeah.
Okay? I said it.
Yeah. Egg salad sandwich and turkey from the oven for the wishbone. Dude, I mean,
It's so good,
it's
dude.
quaint and it's
It's
primitive
a
and
super,
it's beautiful
super
and
fun fucking album,
dude,
dude.
it is. I don't know why. I don't know. It sentimentally, it reminds me of like one summer in my life when I just drove around and just listened to this fucking album over and over and over again.
It's
And
so fun.
It is fun. It is beautiful. It is melodic, and it's not particularly heavy, but
Not really.
It's groovy and melodically, it's so satisfying. It's extremely satisfying.
And like all albums on this list, it has that feel to it from beginning to end.
It doesn't stop. It just beginning, end, and actually, I think it has Stefano on trombone in a couple tracks. So
Yeah. Yes, it does.
so it's got some local flair to it. Number 22, Morbid Angel, Covenant,
Yeah.
1993. Dude, all right. So I am not a religious person. Spiritual, sure. Not a religious person. If there was to be any album in the history of humankind that would convert me to Satanism, or at least in the religious ways of the old ones, this would be that album. This album has a mystique about it that conjures up this darkness, this fucking... And I understand Domination has a little bit more aggressiveness to it. And it might sound or seem a little bit more evil, but this album seems, start to finish, like a ritual.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing about this fucking album. I've been a Morbid Angel fan from A to whatever album they're on now. B, Z, A, Q, N, M, I don't know, whatever. Because they do that fucking A, B, C, D, E, F, G thing. But I listened to Alderman's Madness, Blessed Are the Sick, Covenant, Domination, whatever it is. But, E. But Covenant has this funny mystique. It does have this very quintessential sound. It was kind of a crossover album because after Blessed Are the Sick, he had this high-end vocal.
Yeah.
And then he deepened it up with Covenant. And after and there was like one track where he still had the high-end vocal, but after that it was... deeper, and then
but still
they got rid of it.
one of the top tier
Dude,
metal vocalists of all time.
The dude is, I mean, weird as he might be, David Vincent is fucking brutal in the way he fucking just crushes it. And this album,
and plus,
like I said, it is kind of ritualist.
For Rapture.
Oh my god!
Was it Trey Azagthoth?
Yes,
That's not his real name. But Trey Azagthoth, to me, that's one of the most death metal-y, evilest riffs of all time.
dude.
When that song opens. Just,
Oh, dude, just fucking listen to it, please. If you haven't, then fuck you. If you have, then fuck you. It doesn't matter. Hail Satan. Moving on to 21. Critopsy, None So Vile, 1996. Ooh. Troy, take it away, please.
Okay, so...
I'm familiar with this album, but...
Also very personal to me.
Yeah.
And influential. They're Canadian, I believe.
Yes.
The drummer, Flo Monnier.
Yes.
At the time...
Oh, my God, excellent drummer.
At the time...
Holy shit.
When was this? Was this 90?
This is 96, yeah.
When this came out, now this is after 92, and this is after some craziness, mind you, in the death metal world. But when this album come out, everybody said that was the drummer that you said, that fucking dude is not human. Mm-hmm. There is no possible way that any human can play drums this way.
Yeah.
Well, he does, and he still does today.
Yeah, he does. No, he's still active.
He's still playing today.
And his name is Flo.
Flo Monnier. And Flo Monnier. And they have a new, and that's and this was because after this album they got a new singer, and I was really partial to Lord Verm.
Lord Verm.
Yeah. But and I'll make a little note here, and you can kind of punch this in. But take the beginning, and I don't even know if I could bother doing it, but maybe I will. But and it just if you want to set the tone for something, and you set the tone for a fucking kick-ass album, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
I do that rather well. Don't you think?
Okay, yeah.
And that is the type of shit that just goes on for the entire album. But they get a little melodic in the end with Phobophile, which I think Phobophile is one of the fucking greatest thing. God, this album is so good, dude.
Yeah.
Slit Your Guts. Oh, God, that's so great. And it's like another thing like the TV2 thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit. I don't even know what the fuck he's doing. But,
great metal. It kind of comes across in a number of ways. And one of the ways is like, if you don't know what the fuck is going on, that's great metal.
So, like, and this is one of them things, like, I don't just pick songs out of here.
Right.
When I want to listen to this album, and this is really the only Cryptopsy album I've ever really listened to because of Lord Verm. And I really like the way he did. He did a lot of weird, strange techniques on this album, too. I don't know what happened to him, what was the deal with him, but he was a really great death metal vocalist. But I set this on song 1, and I just let the whole fucking thing
Just
play.
let it roll. Yeah.
I just let the whole I'll listen to the whole fucking album.
Yeah. I think
It's that good.
I think Lord Verm is now a chef at Delmonico, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
Number 20, Danzig.
Danzig. That was in 88.
1988. Absolutely.
I knew
what a
that
year
well.
for metal that was.
Yeah,
But take it away, man.
Anybody that knows me know I'm a big Glenn Danzig fan. I love him.
Danzig.
All the way back. I
1980s.
mean, when we were kids, I had the collection. And when I'm talking about collection, I had the tapes lined up in my bookcase, and I started with Misfits. I had all the Misfits. I had all the Sam Hain, and I had all the Danzigs. I had every fucking one of them up until 4, Danzig 4, which is, and that's another one that slips through the cracks. But Danzig 4 is a fucking really good album. But
All right.
I was I had the Black Aria stuff. I had everything Glenn Danzig put out. I had it all. This album, I mean, come on, dude. Your drummer's name was Chuck Biscuits. John Christ was the most. When you talk about Evil, if Evil could play guitar, it would be John Christ.
That's right.
Down, 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 down. The fucking tastiest Evil licks of all time is on that album.
Yes.
And more of the same in Danzig 2. Just really great shit.
Well,
I mean, everybody knows because, like the Mother, okay,
Mother,
yeah.
Twist of Cain. We had like,
But it had like this resurgence, and I
That's
want to
true.
say it was like in '95 or maybe even '98 or whatever,
the early 90s. Yeah.
and probably '94, '95, I guess, where it was this new thing. I remember listening to this album in '89.
Yes.
Okay, I had it when it was fresh, and when it first come out, and I don't know what the deal was. I guess it probably had to be When the Gods Kill, Danzig 3, and then that kind of magically brought up all the older Danzig stuff. I don't know what that was. To me, it was like, what you don't know about Mother? This is new. This is new.
know.
I knew about this in '88, but '89. But just the most. Every fucking song in that thing is just classic shit.
And dark.
Oh, so dark.
Simple in production, clean,
The
but just dark. And I think there's something about the emptiness of the production.
yes.
That makes it dark. And I almost want to, just to go back, Covenant, Morbid Angel Covenant, there's some elements of that emptiness
Yeah.
that helps make that seem dark. There was, like, resonance kind of dropped off. And it's kind of the same with Danzig. Like, there wasn't too much resonating. The guitars were not thick walls
No,
of
right,
sound.
no.
It was just
was-
enough to let you know that there's distortion going on, and we've got this feel that we want to come across with that guitar, and we're not going to give it any more. The rest is this black silence. You can fill it in with your own existential dread.
Well, it was evil, as in the fruits of the devil, and those riffs that John Christ laid out were just classic riffs
with a BC Rich
bitch.
Okay.
And that was kind of funny because when we were in Capsizer, when we were kind of writing songs and stuff, we were kind of stumped. Me and Jason had a little thing to be like, think John Christ. Like, when because we were trying to be doomy, but we started out a little more death metal-y, a little faster.
Right,
but we
right.
wanted to be slower and more evil. And how do you do that? Well, you do what John Christ does. You write riffs like John Christ.
That's
It's that
interesting.
slow evil it just resonates your fucking... Evil makes my butt cheeks tingle. And his guitars will do that.
All right.
Just a great fucking album.
So, before I have an erection,
Ah.
we're going to move on to number 19. And number 19, you guys, you gals, you trans-inclusive human beings were waiting for it, for them, for Claire. All right.
Oh, what album could it be?
Oh, my gosh.
What album could it be?
Regan and... All right, number 19, Slayer, Rain and Blood.
Regan
19,
in Blood?
Rain and Blood. 1986. Dude, I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck one could say. It's more about, like, it's almost like... You know what? We shouldn't say anything. You know what? We should say nothing.
Hell awaits for you all.
Dude, Rain and Blood. Just...
Now I shall rain blood.
Thunderstorm, rain, just... It's like one of those moments where, like, if I feel like I have to explain it
This
to you, then-
uncomfortable silence has been brought to you by Slayer. Rain and blood.
All right, dude. I mean, no, straight up, it's got, like, some of the most iconic songs that Slayer has ever done. Rain and Blood is one of them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Christ. 1986. And the funny thing is, this is number 19. Yes, I will go ahead and spoil it for you. Slayer will appear later on in this list.
In the upper
In
tier.
the upper tier. But, I mean, no, seriously, just fuck it. You know what? So it speaks for itself. Fuck you. Moving on, number 18, Ohm, God is Good, 2009.
God is good.
God is good.
So
Bring it on, Troy.
So we're that's
Yeah.
more into the doom realm, which I am. You got any more of those in there?
I got a couple. Yeah. Here we go.
Al Cisneros.
Oh wait, no, that's not what you're looking for. One of these?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Ah, fuck that.
So, Al Cisneros. It's kind of like another thing. If you're into any part of doom or metal, you know who Al Cisneros is. You know who Sleep is. Well, this is a later version of what he does, and it's, close to my heart is bass player. I used to play Rickenbacker. I don't anymore because they're a pain in the ass. But that's a wholly different story. But the thing about God is Good is great as Conference of the Birds and Variations in the Theme was. God is Good was completely out of left field. It just came out of fucking nowhere. And the production is so incredible. Like, and a lot of other things on this list up until this point was you didn't want punk and thrash and death metal to be really clean sounding. But this album is so pristine. I almost imagine when I listened to it like it was recorded in a clean room. The sound floor is so silent. And it's such a crisp, clean production, but that's exactly what this album needed to put its point across, and it dips into Arabic things and sounds and Indian things and Hindu and Buddhism and things like that. And I've been big into those instruments for a long time. And the way this whole thing came about and the way this whole album is done is just fucking magnificent.
Nice.
And even Adviatic Songs is really great. But when God is Good come out, everybody who was into Sleep was also into Ohm, and everybody that was into Ohm, it was nothing like the other two albums. And when God is Good come out, everybody was like, holy shit, did you fucking hear this thing? That's how good that fucking album is. Ohm, God is Good. Smoke a fucking ass ton of fucking weed and spin that fucker. And enjoy the ride. That's all I got to tell you.
But not before you continue with the rest of this podcast, which brings us to number 17, Anthrax.
Yeah!
Excellent. Anthrax, Persistence of Time, 1990. I will take the lead on this one, Troy. I have been an Anthrax fan since before Anthrax existed. That's right. I've been an Anthrax fan since before Anthrax even existed, which was like when I was 2 or 3 or something like that. Okay, an exaggeration. I've been into them for a long time, and they're one of like the big four, right?
Yes. Big four, baby.
Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax, right?
I went to that show. When they perused down here in New Orleans.
Basically the four corners of like thrash metal and speed metal and all that, dude. Anthrax, love them or hate them, they just got like a thick sound and a nice vibe and a party vibe.
They're a fun band.
Fun, so much fun. Oh my god, dude! They
in the end, when you fucking want to listen to music, don't you want to have fun?
Exactly. Don't you want to wear jams and flip your bill on your fucking hat and just
shotgun beers and fucking chest bump your bros?
That was
fucking Anthrax, dude. Spin some fucking Anthrax, man.
So the thing about Persistence of Time, okay? I'm a huge fan. I'm a big fan of like their really early stuff with Dan Lilker and stuff before Joey Belladonna. Among the Living, amazing album. State of Euphoria, probably the pinnacle of their party years.
You know I have to say it. Attack of the Killer Bees.
Dude, all of it.
I love that album. I really do.
Persistence of Time was different, and I'm gonna point that out as sort of like a pinnacle of their career, because again, most and almost no, certainly a response to the political goings on. Okay, Persistence of Time it stood out because all of a sudden they became a little dark for a little bit. They changed directions after that. They did a Killer Bees, and then they got John Bush in for the vocals, and they did the Sound of White Noise, and they changed direction, and they bounced around, and they did all kinds of things. And after that, I really didn't listen to them beyond that.
The Sound of White Noise is good.
I thought the Sound of Noise is good, and that was kind of like their Black Album.
Yeah.
Kind of like their Black Album. It was a departure from what they had. Persistence of Time was kind of like their apex. They got dark, and maybe too dark. I don't know, arguably, for what they were doing. But that was, dude. They from the opening song, "Time," which was a nice syncopated track in like dun 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 dun, and like 7/8 time. Which had some interesting polyrhythms going on there. They moved on through a couple of tracks. Brothers in Blood was fucking excellent. Keep It in the Family. Holy shit.
Keep It in the Family, yeah.
Oh my God. Dude, great album. Great song. Then they did the Intro to Reality and then Belly of the Beast, and they did a video, and it was all about the fall of the fucking Berlin Wall and the Iron Curtain falling down, and then they did all the way to the fucking last album. They did One Man Stands, and then shit, I can't remember the name of the last fucking album. Song on this album. This is an excellent album. It was thick, dude. The fucking guitar sound. Yeah. It was fucking Scott Ian with a fucking Marshall stack.
Ian.
And it was chunky and just heavy. And Charlie Bellante just doing his thing. No blast beats. No fucking around. No silly, SOD stuff going on. But like, it was solid. It was melodic. It was tasteful. It was heavy. It was pertinent to the time. And Anthrax. God damn it, dude! I love you guys. Thank you for peaking in 1990 with Persistence of Time.
You knew Anthrax was going to be on it,
dude.
I knew it.
Fucking Anthrax. I still fucking. I've been listening to that shit. I was listening to Among the Living on the way to high school, but fucking right, dude. Persistence of Time, in my opinion, the heaviest and the best fucking album. Number 16, Obituary, The End Complete, 1992.
I was going to say, what year was that?
What year was that?
1992.
Obituary,
so
dude.
This was, we actually covered The End Complete.
We did.
In Rotten Anime. And it was another one of those albums when it came up.
But yeah.
And right. Mm-hmm. But I started, it's like, okay, and I started listening to it, and I'm like, oh, the fucking guitar tone on that album was so fucking crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It was so like anything else in 92. Nothing else had that fucking guitar tone. And, you got to kind of wonder what makes your decision to go with that. It's a risk. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, are you going to make your guitar sound like that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you sure you really want to do that?
He was sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to do that. And fuck, you roll a dice and it pays off. It's a fucking great guitar tone.
Oh, God. Dude, and the vocal.
Filthy guitar tone.
I mentioned your boy from Gorefest. Your boy Donald Tardy. Oh, God. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Like, your boy from Gorefest, I can't remember his name, Hans Schlingelinger or whatever his name is. Donald Tardy from Obituary. All right.
Hans Schlingelinger.
Chuck Schuldiner, rest in peace, from Death.
Yeah.
Those got to be my top three. The rest, I'm not going to say there's probably two more, whatever, but those are in my top five best death metal vocalists of all time. The dude had that dynamic
everything
sound.
About that album was just unique.
Dude, it
was so different for that time, and it was just so unique.
And Cause of Death, I don't know if you listened to Cause of Death. It had a darker and thicker sound to it, But the Incomplete, it had a similar kind of thing. It was almost like all the instruments were a little bit separate, had that kind of typical early 90s production thing going on, and the guitars thinned out a bit, but still it was thick and it was fuzzy. And the vocal production was perfect. And the drums were not over the top. They were a little thin, but it was oh my God, dude, I don't know. I want to say that was another Apex album where they went in a different direction, and Obituary still puts on stuff, and it's still fun as fuck to listen to. I've listened to their recent stuff. This is 2019, almost 2020, and the shit that they are putting out is still fun to listen to, but the Incomplete, I just think that is where they kind of peaked.
Filthy
before they went
fucking
into
guitar tone.
Fun, interesting.
Filthy.
I can't even describe it, dude. It's a fuzz, but thick, but I don't know. Moving on.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Everybody knows it. Unless you don't, in which case...
Including the
listen to
Obituary
it.
guy.
Yeah, those guys. I have a funny feeling that those guys...
You know the Obituary guy.
Yeah.
The guy at every show with the Obituary shirt. He's
Yeah,
there.
Living in someone's, basement.
No matter where you are in the country, there's a guy in the front row, drunk as fuck, and he's wearing a black Obituary shirt.
Mm-hmm. Number 15, Death. Death. I mean, like...
Yeah, pretty much just death.
Death. That's
more specifically...
Individual Thought
Individual
Patterns,
Thought Patterns.
1993.
93.
Holy
Pretty
shit.
close to 92. But, yeah, that's like my shit. That's my jam.
That's my jam, too.
And something else comes up with that, and that is, well, a couple of... Well, actually, it's three, really. You got Chuck, obviously. You got the granddaddy fucking Godhammer fucking bass player, Chuck Sheldon. I mean, thinking
DiGiorgio.
Steve DiGiorgio.
Yeah.
And then you got Gene fucking Hoglan.
Oh, shit.
And I just recently seen something on YouTube with Gene Hoglan, and he's playing all of those songs just by himself, just the drum, showing the drums.
Yeah.
And he's playing this shit he's playing drums in combat boots.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's what he does.
What the fuck are you?
No.
It's ridiculous.
And I'm realizing that this is the first appearance of Gene Hoglan on our list.
Oh, okay.
And he's got, he's plenty on his fucking...
Didn't he play for Slayer for a little while?
I don't think so, but...
Paul
Paul No, I mean Hoglan. He's got a great resume. I mean, he's been on Death Angel. He did the Death Clock thing. He did. He drummed with Strapping Young Lad.
Yeah.
And every other band in existence. But dude,
and he actually started out as like a drum tech for fucking Vinnie Paul and Pantera.
He did it really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Individual Thought Patterns. That is to me, I know people, Scream Bloody Gore and Symbolic. Okay, I like
Human,
whatever. Listen.
Yeah.
The reason this one makes the list is because it's fabulously written. The production is very consistent from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And Chuck's vocals are the fucking best that he's ever recorded, hands down. When I play and I'm doing vocals now, whenever I do my screams, I'm trying to emulate Chuck Schuldiner on Individual Thought Patterns.
Perfect.
Because at the time when everything was Chuck Schuldiner was very expressive, and he just he got all piratey with his R's.
Yeah.
And he just
dude, it's a great album.
Where nothing is everything. And everything is nothing.
Dude, no.
Staring beyond. It's just, his vocals were so fucking great.
Dude, straight up. Dude, right on.
Tremendous album.
And dude, I mean, I've listened to every fucking Death album. You can argue over and over again. I'm not going to enter that
A lot
argument.
of people are partial to Symbolic.
Doesn't matter.
A lot of people are partial to Scream But a Gore. But
a lot of people are into fucking exactly. And so this is a
remember,
genre
extremely
defining
personal
band.
and biased. Troy and Ramon top 40 list.
Exactly.
And so individual thought patterns gets the nod on the list.
All right, fair enough. Eat my shit. Number 14, Dark Throne, Transylvanian Hunger.
Yeah.
Dude. We are heading into it's December 20th. The chill has, permeated my bones, and therefore my skin, and therefore my soul, and therefore I'm going to hell.
There's almost
apparently,
not a whole lot to
according
be said
Dark
for that,
Throne.
dude. I mean, come on, dude. It's Dark Throne.
It's raw. It's fucking. It's like the most lo-fi recording that I listened to in 1994. It's the most lo-fi recording that I listen to on a regular basis without thinking like, oh my god, this sounds like shit. You know what I mean?
And that was always
it's so purposeful though.
And we didn't know this. We didn't know this at the time. When did that come out?
In 94.
94?
But you compare it to the early albums like Soulside Journey,
Right.
they very deliberately, Nocturno Culto and Fenriz and Diablo El Musico, whatever the fuck their names are, they chose that production value for a very...
Panzerfaust is pretty...
Panzerfaust is very raw, dude.
Very raw. And that has a
Total
unique
Death,
sound
they all have
on
their-
its own.
Yeah.
Okay, but we didn't know this at the time when this stuff came out, but we loved the fuck out of it.
Uh-huh.
Because it was just so fucking horribly evil.
Yeah.
But we later on, I had watched some interviews with Nocturnal Culto,
Right.
And what was his drug? Fizz.
Fenriz.
Fenriz?
Yeah.
That production was on purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
And it didn't make sense until he said it's supposed to sound cold.
Oh, God, did it, though.
And it was like, oh, you fucking geniuses.
It sounded so cold.
Fucking genius. And it really paved the way. I don't know. I know for you as much as me. And it really paved our way down our musical life.
Dude.
It really did.
It set a precedent, no doubt, dude. I mean, and it created this atmosphere. And that's the thing is, it was atmospheric. You know, atmosphere, and it definitely had that chill. It had that sense that it was, yes, it was lo-fi.
When someone says
low
black
quality.
metal, I think of Dark Throne.
Dude,
that's the first fucking thing that comes to mind.
You know,
I know they didn't invent black metal, but when black metal comes, it's Dark Throne.
There's a few acts that you can pull into the fucking thing, and we could have had an Emperor album. We could have had
Celtic Frost.
Oh, yeah, totally. We could have had fucking Venom.
Venom.
We could have had I mean, all kinds of shit, you know. But I mean, this album, in my opinion, at least, this kind of like, that's black metal, dude. Yeah.
You want to sit in a graveyard while it's snowing and put on that album, you will summon Satan.
If you want to give up,
you will summon Satan
and just be full of grief. Then that's the album to listen to. Number 13, Pantera. Vulgar. Oh, that must be like the Vulgars.
Of Poor?
The Visigoth invaders. Oh,
we're just fucking with you.
yeah, Pantera.
It's
Vulgar display of
Pantera,
power.
the vulgar display of power.
Hey,
So, and that was another thing.
bada bing.
When I was
Hey.
kind of perusing this list,
Yeah.
I had Joseph over here, and we kind of went through this album too.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, you could just go through. You can play the first 10 seconds of every track on this album, and you will
You know what
immediately
song it is.
recognize
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
what the fuck it is. It's fucking Pantera's fucking. What fucking year did this come out in? 92.
What?
So, and one of the absolute, I still talk about this, because it was me and like 5 buddies of mine, and we went to this show at State Palace Theater in New Orleans, and it was Prong. Prong was coming off of Snap Your Fingers, Snap Your Neck. Snap your fingers, snap your neck.
Yeah.
Whatever the fucking thing that was.
Right.
Sepultura and Pantera. Dude, when they played A New Level, we were on a balcony. I thought the fucking balcony was coming down. I thought that fucking place was going to come crumbling down in pieces. Every single fucking song on that album kicks ass. Don't give a fuck if you don't like Phil or whatever. I don't give a fuck. Every song on that album kicks ass.
Yeah.
And if you don't agree, then you probably don't like fucking metal.
Dude,
It's that fucking
I'm bored.
good.
In my opinion,
Groundbreaking shit with fucking Dimebag and his leads.
Dude.
Extremely inventive. He took that Digitech whammy pedal, and those things started flying. From Musician's Friend, they couldn't stock them fast enough. Everybody had to have a Digitech whammy pedal because he just incredible. That whole fucking album.
Obnoxious red analog thing. It's absolutely the most listenable album, in my opinion. Of their entire discography, and certainly it's just fucking heavy.
It's heavy as fuck.
I just don't know how else to describe it. It's heavy.
Fantastic.
Dude,